I have a very special guest joining me on Radio Road, day number 5, here live at the Moscone Convention Center. Thank you all for tuning in for Stephen A. Smith. But I have the one on the Hall of Famer, man, the only man I know that has a press box, that damn near a stadium named after
Well, press box, let's not get carried away.
Mr. Rob Parker, of course. So you can tune in weeknights from 6 to 9 p.m. locally in Kansas City on the Fox Sports Radio Network or the Fox Sports Radio affiliates. The Odd Couple with he and Kelvin Washington. Rob, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, buddy. And I'm going to say this, the press box. No. I'm just saying, because you brought it up. It would happen October 5th. They named the press box after me at my alma mater, Southern Connecticut State University. I just wanted the school, and this is what really got me. The school has been around since 1893.
Nice.
It's the first building with a black person's name on it on the campus. And when I realized it, and, my family and friends and the whole thing, and then I realized a couple of my friends came up to me, and they were like, this is forever, right? Your name is there forever. It made a lot. It was very special to me. It really was.
Unless you, Robert Kraft, get caught.
No, don't put that. Don't put that. Hey, none of it. Don't put that on me. My God, no, please.
But trust me. Well, first of all, you're gonna get inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2 years when we go to Atlanta.
Oh my
you
God.
already know what's going on with that. But look, we're here at Radio Row Super Bowl 60. This is the first year. It feels like forever that the Kansas City Chiefs are not involved. Stop it, Rob.
I'm just telling you. I'm
know,
speaking for a lot of NFL America who's tired of the Chiefs. I mean, I get it. They had a great run. Don't get me wrong. Like people,
the run's not over.
People, it is over. It is over.
They took a year off just like they did in Los Angeles. Stop it. But besides,
like they did in Los Angeles with who?
When it was Cincinnati against the Rams, and then they came back three straight years. They took a year off.
Okay. I don't think it's the same team. I'd be shocked that they made it to the Super Bowl.
Well, strange things have happened. And look, I'm with you. So let me ask you. So what was it about this year that you felt like was different from the Chiefs to where you predicted before the season?
I'm glad you gave me the credit on that because no. I'm just trying to say, I had the Lions not making the playoffs and the Chiefs. They were both the number one seeds in both conferences. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't like I said they're not going to make the Super Bowl. To say they're not going to make the playoffs is different. I don't know. I just thought last year was like a crazy year. They had all the breaks. They really weren't that good. A lot of one-score games where you were like, should they have won that game or not? Or, you know what I mean? The other team would melt down or make a big mistake. So I didn't like any of that. And I thought that the football gods would even it out. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they couldn't win a one-score game. Yeah. It was really weird.
Yeah, and I was telling, other people, Steve Weiss and others, that what I saw being there in person was, you get Harrison Butker missing an extra point.
Right, stuff like that.
Starting in Brazil to where now when the Chiefs score, they have to figure out, sooner you got to go for two. So they had to go for two early on. And when you can't make that, now now you're starting to reach and do things that you wouldn't have to normally
do. Right.
Exactly. And he missed a lot of kicks this season to where
it was unbelievable. As good as he was, and then all of a sudden, that's what happens.
Yeah, and then of course execution, wide receivers going back to 2 years ago where they were dropping passes left and right. So no. So I'm with you. They,
and everybody. When they won those 3 games, and there's 3 bad teams. They won 3 games in a row, and they scored a lot of
points. The Raiders, the Commanders,
right? And everybody was like, "Oh, they're back! Look at the offense. They go Patrick Mahomes receivers."
And look, I've been first that they left their superpowers in the locker room when they got to Buffalo.
Yep.
I don't know what happened to where they couldn't move the ball. They couldn't run. They couldn't catch it. It was like. I didn't recognize this team, and it was funny because it wasn't until I looked back at the end of the season, and it could have been before after your show. I'm like, the only game they won after the Commanders game was against the Indianapolis Colts, and they barely won that one.
I remember it was really weird for them to fall off in that capacity, but I just really it was just, when you just have a gut and you're looking at the way things played out the year before, I really felt confident when I made both of those picks. In fact, I was so confident I bet a pair of Jordans on both of those picks because the other guys.
He didn't bet it to me, thank
No, but Kelvin bet me a pair of Jordans on the Lions. He had the Lions getting, he thought he had it made. They started 4-1, right? Make the playoffs at 4-1, and then of course that didn't work out. And my other friend. Divine is a big Chiefs fan. I'm a Mahomes fan, and he same thing. What do you mean? Oh man, all right, they might not make the Super Bowl, but they're gonna make the playoffs. How they not gonna make the playoffs? And then it happened.
Yeah, and then they get the math to start. Even Chris Jones, even when they got eliminated, he still thought they could make it. I'm like, come on, man. He's like, stop it.
He still thought they were gonna make it even after they got eliminated.
Yeah, he was at the he was at the podium and didn't realize
that it was done.
Yeah,
right.
it was like, come on, man. I can't keep losing and thinking.
Right, and thinking that, oh yeah, well, we still have a chance to get in. Like people were saying it, even analysts. Who was it? Somebody on Fox was like,
probably Nick
if they get in, they're gonna be dangerous. They're gonna run the table. I was like, if they get in, they're not getting in. They had them well, if they win the next 3 games and so loses the next 2 or 3 and this and that, I wouldn't want to see them in the playoffs. They're gonna make a run. I was like, okay.
Give me your thoughts on the Super Bowl matchup.
Talk about non-buzz. I mean,
well, and again, it's funny when you say that. You think the Chiefs aren't here, but that's the reason why there is a lack of buzz because the Chiefs aren't here.
Well, I just think that there are 2 teams that normally haven't won. It seems like an aberration kind of thing on both of them. Sam Darnold bounced around. People don't even have. I mean, the Vikings didn't move off of Sam Darnold because they didn't know what they had. If you go back and watch the video. 2 weeks before the season ended, he had a great game. Remember that? And they carried him into the locker room and they threw champagne and everything. And then the next week, with the division on the line, he had a stinker against the Lions. And then last year in the playoffs, he had a stinker against the Rams. And that's
why
they
did the Stroud thing.
Right. And that's why they didn't want to sign. And that's what, if I'm Seattle, and I'll just give you, I'm picking the Patriots. Everybody and their uncle's picking Seattle. And I get it. On paper, they should win.
Yep.
But when everybody picks something in sports, look out. Just look out. And my thing is, look at what the Patriots have been able to do, even with that Texans defense, right? Their quarterback imploded. Sam Darnold led the league in turnovers. Sam Darnold can have a stinker. Sam Darnold can turn into Ronald McDonald. And that's what I'm saying. Like 2 or 3 bad plays. Could be the difference.
He's only here till tonight, people.
That's right. Try to feel. You got it? Okay. I do comedy.
I know. I was trying to keep a straight face, but I couldn't. It was fun.
But I'm just saying, something that looks so obvious sometimes is not what it's meant to be. And the Patriots should not win this Super Bowl, but I'm picking the Patriots.
Funny, my pastor, he called me this morning and was asking me my pick. And he had I told him I'm going to Seahawks, and he was like, now for me, as even though they won those teams, there was nothing offensively that would make me feel like, I can count on, Drake
Patriots.
May, what I'm saying, to win. But even my pastor said, well, if everybody's picking the Seahawks, I think I'm putting my money down on the Patriots. I was like, well, if I said, if you got a private line,
no, it's just that. Very seldom is something so overwhelming on one team. And that's what you have. That's always seems to be like when something happens. And it could just be Sam Darnold's first pass of the game is a pick 6. You know what I mean? And it changes the entire game.
Yeah.
A fumble. The guy had 20 turnovers last year.
Yeah, literally, who was it? Carolina, and when Cam Newton was in the Super Bowl, first play, I think, or the Broncos, was it him or the Broncos, where it was the safety, first play of the game.
Off of Peyton Manning's hand.
Yeah, right. It was the safety. So, your thoughts on Eric Bieniemy? I know you asked me on your show, but I'm asking you now. Eric Bieniemy returned to Kansas City.
I'm happy he's back. I wanted him to get a head coaching job. I still feel how terrible this league is. And I'm going to say one thing. I know a lot of people want to blame the owners for this situation. I'm blaming the players. The 70% black players.
Speak up.
Speak up. You keep allowing this to happen. If you're going to do that, then you can't say anything. Like, you can stop it. And people say, well, what power do they have? They have plenty of power. We saw Donald Sterling get forced to sell his team overnight when players told the commissioner, we're not playing.
We're not taking the courts.
We're not playing. What are you going to do? You're going to close the league down or get that guy out? That's what you have to do. Blame the players. At some point, man, you got terrible health care, terrible pension. Stand up for something. All this league does is brag about how much money it makes, hand over fist. They don't even take care of people who are the product. It ain't about that shield. It ain't about the commissioner. It's about the players who make up the game. That's the game, nothing else.
I don't know if you had him on your show or not, but I spoke with DeMaurice Smith yesterday for about 45 minutes. You take a look at that interview. I'll send it to you if need be, but you should have him on your show because we talked about all that and then some. So I'd be remiss to ask you before I let you go because we talked about this on your show. But, of course, the whole Lynn Jones stuff. Now, I want to know, did Rob Parker complain about all these quote-unquote non-journalists getting credentialed out here, saying fanboy, this Radio Row, the opener night, all this stuff.
I don't know what that.
You've seen all these people.
All that is nonsense to me, and that's what they want. They just want to, like those people shouldn't be credentialed to cover games, and for them to have them on and women with wedding dresses and asking these ridiculous questions.
Guy walking right like he looked like Jesus or something.
Yeah, and all that. I think that's all silly. And as somebody who went to journalism school and is a trained journalist, that stuff rubs me the wrong way. I don't want to be the, hey, get off my lawn guy, but let's stop mixing and telling everybody that they're journalists and they're working professionals. Even the former players who act like they're reporters, they look interviewing each other and acting like they're
pushback.
Exactly, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how. I give you guys credit. You watch these podcasts and whatnot. To me, most of them are awful, and there's no pushback. There's no research. Players are. You're talking about we don't know anything. They'll put together a list of the top 10 NBA players of all time, and Kareem's not even on the list. That was Shaq's list. Kareem wasn't on the list, and then they're gonna tell us that we're biased. Are we biased or they're biased?
Yeah, and homers and stuff like that.
Terrible.
Now, before I let you go, are you finally convinced I'm not a homer? Because I've been telling you, we go through this all the time. I'm not a homer.
Did you pick the Chiefs to win this last year?
Did I pick them to win?
Yeah, the Super Bowl this past year.
I picked
this past year.
I thought it would be a rematch. I thought.
So you had them going 4 years in a row.
No, hold on. Yes, but
okay.
But hold on. But look, I've always said just like to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Look,
what year did you pick them not to go to the Super Bowl?
That would have.
Okay, I'll rest my case.
2018.
I'll rest my case.
No. Hold on. No. Because we're not gonna do this. Because when you were covering the Pistons, no.
I didn't pick them every year.
Hold on. No. I'm saying the year they went, the year 88, 89, 90. Were you picking against them? No, 87.
I was in New York in 89. Seriously, I was working in New York.
Okay, but you from Detroit though, right?
No, I'm from New York.
Okay.
I worked in Detroit for 20. Everybody thinks I'm from Detroit. I'm from New York.
Okay. Well,
forget about it. My man. Appreciate you, Dad.
Appreciate your time as always. Rob Parker, make sure you check him out. Fox Sports Radio, the icon. Look at this. See these people.
I see them.
Anyway, let's go before they tell us to get off our line. Appreciate your time, Rob.
All right, my man. Thank you. Thank you, buddy.